we were laughing like teenagers. He had this old-fashioned charm, kissing my hand and calling me Reina, my queen.
Oh, I love it.
He told me that he didn't want much in life anymore, just someone to dance with on Sundays. It sounded so simple, and yet it lit something inside me that I thought was long extinguished.
A bit of housekeeping before we begin Where You Left Them, the Dad Hugs podcast. Harry and Emma are not therapists, and your needs will be specific to your circumstances. The opinions expressed in this podcast should not be construed as formal advice. Some stories have been amended and simplified for narrative flow, and names have been changed to protect the anonymity of our contributors.
Hello, this is Where You Left Them, the Dad Hugs for Your Soul podcast, where we share real people's real stories to see if we can help and what we can take from them for our own lives and our own relationships. My name's Harry, and if you've seen me before, you might have seen me on your socials. I didn't want to do this on my own because I tried and I'm rubbish. And I have my good friend Emma with me again.
Yes, hello, thanks for having me back. Hopefully you know me by now. But I'm Emma, Harry's sidekick.
And you're here for the tea, aren't
Just
you?
here for the tea, really, and the snacks.
I meant the tea as in the stories, but the actual tea as well.
Oh, and the stories, obviously.
I was trying to be cool and up to date.
Don't do that. I don't know what you mean.
That won't happen again.
No.
Okay, but yeah, you're here for the stories. You're here to help.
Yes.
And learn.
I'm learning so much.
Because we keep putting you through stuff.
You do. Yes, you do keep doing that to me, don't you?
Joyous.
Yes.
And of course, we want to hear from you as well. And this is the Thursday episode, but on Tuesday, you get to have your say. You can leave your comments. You can send us your stories. You can leave a voice note, all on dadhugsforyoursoul.com/podcast. And you can email us at podcast@dadhugsforyoursoul.com. If you're not on the socials, go and find us. You'll find us everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, even YouTube. Dad Hugs for Your Soul. Just do a little search. You'll find us. This podcast is Where You Left Them.
And this is a real story. You said that at the beginning. So if you want to submit your story,
yes,
please do at the podcast section of the website. And just to be really clear, we do make them anonymous. So you can submit that in safety. And we'll talk to you before we record it. So you've got full say over it.
Yeah, completely anonymous, completely safe. So today's story.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're going to get upset.
Oh, gosh, really?
I'm probably going to be upset as well.
Okay.
Today's story is from Alison.
Okay, I'm scared.
You look terrified.
I am.
Okay. Dear Harry, I never thought I'd be writing a letter like this at my age. I'm in my 70s, widowed, for some time now, and I thought the part of my life where I felt butterflies was long gone.
Oh.
You settling in?
Yeah.
But then I met Mike, and now, just as quickly as he appeared, he has gone again. And I don't know how to manage what he has left behind.
Right.
It happened on a whim when a friend dragged me to a Cuban salsa night at Coal Drops Yard in King's Cross in London.
Amazing. I want this in my future.
Pure romance.
Brilliant.
I almost didn't go as I hadn't danced in years, and I certainly wasn't dressed for it. The wrong shoes, stiff joints, and a heart that felt too heavy, in truth. But then this tall man in a linen shirt, it's always a linen shirt.
Was it you? Because you do wear a linen shirt. No, it wasn't. Carry on.
Walked up to me, smiled, and asked if I would try just one song. I don't know what came over me, but I said yes. By the end of the night, we were laughing like teenagers. He had this old-fashioned charm, kissing my hand and calling me Reina, my queen.
Oh, I love it.
He told me that he didn't want much in life anymore, just someone to dance with on Sundays. It sounded so simple, and yet it lit something inside me that I thought was long extinguished. From that night on, we saw each other often. First once a week at the dance, then every day. We'd meet at Granary Square, share pastries, and talk about our late spouses, nodding knowingly at the weight of grief. What surprised me most was how alive I began to feel. It wasn't about replacing what I'd lost. It was about rediscovering the joy of being with someone who understood. But then something shifted.
Oh.
I have started forgetting things. Small at first. Our plans, names, even leaving the tap on once and flooding the kitchen. I had sort of got used to the post-it notes I'd put around the place. I told Mike, thinking it would just be a passing laugh, a sign of age we'd joke about. Instead, I watched his face drop. He took my hand gently and told me his first wife had Alzheimer's. He said he stayed with her till the very end, watching her disappear piece by piece, and it nearly broke him. Then he looked at me and whispered that he didn't know if he could go through that kind of pain again. After that, he became distant. He stopped coming to salsa nights. I rang his phone once, only for his son to answer. His son told me, kindly enough, that Mike didn't want to hurt me, but he also didn't trust himself to survive it if my forgetfulness turned into something more. And just like that, it was over. I miss him terribly, but I don't blame him. He has his scars, and loving someone through their unravelling leaves marks that no one else can see. I understand that he is protecting himself, though it doesn't make the loneliness sting any less. I find myself going back to Coal Drops Yard on Sundays. I sit near the music and listen. Here's my question. What do I do now? Do I let him go entirely? Or do I reach out one more time, risk rejection, and remind him that life, even at our age, is not meant to be lived in fear of what might happen? Part of me feels selfish even asking. I know what he endured with his wife, and I know his pain is real. But part of me also wonders if he's letting fear rob him of something precious. Yours sincerely, Alison. And that is the quietest you've ever been through a story read.
I don't know how to speak at the moment, actually, because so many of us are going to recognise this because of loved ones, who are living with dementia of some sort, and so my immediate reaction is that I totally do understand Mike.
Yeah.
Completely understand it. Because if you have or are experiencing, as Alison put it, the unravelling of somebody you love, it is the most all-consuming, endless grief, actually.
Yeah.
And it takes an awful lot to endure it. And I don't believe anybody would willingly step into that if they had a choice. So I do understand it.
Yeah. I think there's a layer as well where, of course, it's the grief. It's a horrific thing to witness. A family friend is going through it at the moment. And I think it's the work as well. And nobody really says that, but it's enormously taxing, not just emotionally, but, physically, mentally, in terms of logistically and organising and watching someone sort of fade is very difficult.
Yeah.
But I think that Alison makes a really kind of beautiful and sensible point where she says, you cannot live in fear of what might happen.
Yeah.
And that's not to be skimmed over, because the whole point, right, was people dating later in life. She wasn't expecting to feel the butterflies, to meet someone, all that stuff, right? But the whole point of all of that is to say, well, bugger that, right?
Yeah.
Bugger the fact that we're old, bollocks to being 70 and dating. This has happened and it's lovely and it's romantic, right?
Yeah.
And all the Alzheimer's does is it puts another layer on that to say, yeah, your time is short, but look at this, it's even shorter now.
Yeah. It is actually that. It is giving you notice, where in most or many other cases we don't get any notice, which again puts you back into the live now thing. However, that unfortunately is not really her decision to make. That's his decision to make, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's made it, hasn't he?
He's made it. We don't know if he'll stick with it, but he's made it. So so I guess her question was, should she reach out and one more time? And I mean, I don't know. She hasn't had a diagnosis as far as we're aware.
No, that's true.
Right? She hasn't had that. And so, and then I really don't know what I would, what
She needs to get that. She needs to go through that, doesn't she? And find out, you know, where she stands.
Yeah.
I think the biggest kind of issue that she would have, if you put yourself in her shoes, if she reaches out to him, if she persuades, if she kind of does the working for love thing, and then things do deteriorate for her, and he does become a carer late in life, having done it once already, to this sort of huge emotional debt that he now carries anyway, how will Alison feel? That's the question, isn't it? And as intense as this has been, it's not that long, this relationship, as far as I can gather from the letter. So I think, you know, when people leave you, and this is such a universal point, when someone makes the decision to leave your life, however wonderful you thought things were going to be, however amazing the connection was, and it doesn't diminish the connection, by the way, you can be absolutely connected to someone who then suddenly isn't and wants to leave. When people choose to leave your life, you have to let them. You have to, because the quiet dignity of letting someone choose other than you will teach you whether or not your wounds are making you desperate to be chosen, or whether that actually is something that's worth building. And frankly, you know, and I'm very hard line on this, but if someone chooses to leave my life now, yeah, I not only let them go, I kind of hold the door open and say, have a lovely time, because, you know, life is lived in free will, right? So yeah, I think as hard as this sounds, as harsh as it sounds, I think it's not up to Alison to persuade him back. Like you said, it's not her decision, unfortunately.
It's not. This is.
And there are other men in linen shirts, right?
We know one. We know one.
We
don't
know
we?
one.
The thing is, there
Approaching
is.
his 70s.
This is the scenario. This is a scenario where there's just no. There's no. It's horrible for everybody. For Mike, for Alison. Mike has done his level best to be gracious, but it is his free will, and I totally understand his decision.
Yeah.
But equally, my heart is just smashed to bits for Alison.
Yeah.
Because she was okay. I'm sorry.
We're off.
She was okay.
Yeah.
And then she found something, and now she can't be okay again. Well, she can, but...
That's what you just said. That's brilliant. That's perfect. It's a perfect description. You know, she was okay. Yeah. And then she found something that made her think, oh, wow, and woke this thing up inside her. Yeah. I think she said reignited this thing inside her. And then she's now back before she was okay, right? She's worse than she was before. But she's not. It feels like she is. But what's happened, right? Logically in her life, if... I don't know how to describe this, but I always imagine if you're sitting objectively at the end of your life, watching the life you've just lived, right? And you see these people come into your life, these people who hurt you, these people who don't fit, these situations like this, which are tragic, but just don't fit. You watch those situations objectively at the end of your life in a detached manner. You would not say, oh, don't go that way. You would say, oh, that's good.
That gave me
that's
this.
A connection.
Yeah.
That's deep.
And not saying it's the end of her life. We're not saying that. We're just saying
there are other men.
There are other men. And do you know what? She rediscovered her joy with the dancing and the music, and that's still there.
Yeah, blooming up, she's going back.
So do I. With her friend who took her there in the beginning.
She sits near the music still and all that. So hopefully she's dancing again. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? There's no happy ending. There's no happy ending, but there's no gentle way to leave someone. And this is in the same way that people who are heartbroken come to me and say, I'm in so much pain, this is so hard. And the harsh version of me goes, well, yeah, it's heartbreak. What were you hoping for? This is going to hurt. You can't bypass this stuff. There's no shortcut through this. And, you know, there's no shortcut for Alison. It's going to hurt for a bit, but what else can you do?
Nothing. There are lots of other things that I want to sort of bring up here. Firstly, the fact that we assume that the excitement of love and of that diminishes as we move through our life. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, no.
And the heartache doesn't either. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Whether you're 20, 30, 40, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It feels the same. There's different outside pressures. There's different experiences, but it's still the same. And I love that, go and do your dancing. There is also a huge lesson here about, we've got a plan. We've got to do the planning at some level for our future, but do not sacrifice today for putting aside just in case for 10 years' time.
Yeah, don't miss out on going dancing. Don't miss that stuff,
dancing.
right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
We hope you're enjoying the stories on Where You Left Them, the Dad Hugs podcast. But how's your emotional health? At Dad Hugs, we help thousands of people to solve their emotional challenges now and lead more fulfilling lives in their future relationships. Check out the No Contact Pack. It's brutal, but it works, and it'll help you break the cycle and rebuild after a relationship breakdown. Or the Healing Anxious Attachment Pack, a deep reset for anxious attachers which will help you calm the fear of abandonment, stop the spiral of overthinking, and feel secure in yourself. Find our packs and see what hundreds of other happy users have said at dadhugsforyoursoul.com/packs.
Right, so Harry, let's look at some general questions around this, because we've agreed that it is it's a sad, there's no hallmark happy ending really, right? So
Not yet.
Not yet. So let's look at some general questions
Yeah.
for people who are. You've got lots of people in their sort of 70s.
Loads, yeah,
lots.
loads.
Is dating different in your 70s too?
I think it's different, but it's different in some good ways too, right? Your responsibilities change as you get older. Your house isn't full of family necessarily, and that may look like a lonelier life, but it's also a life of responsibilities being your own, right? Your mortgage is probably paid off. Your pension's coming in.
Yeah.
There's all of that stuff. And I think that the idea that that somehow the sharpness of romance diminishes when you're older is also a nonsense, because the other thing that comes in obviously is that loneliness as you get a bit older, but also you've lived a life, you've got a better story to tell, right? You've got more things in common with people. And also I love the little nods to kind of chivalry in these stories. You don't tend to get those with the stories from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, but when you speak to people in their 70s and they tell you their stories, it's hard not to go, oh, that's rare, isn't it? Like the kiss on the hand and all that stuff.
Beautiful.
I'm sure Steve does it, but
Of course he does.
But all of that is that's kind of unique to that age group. But yeah, I speak to, and I've got a few in mind now. I speak to quite a few people in their 60s and 70s who are experiencing their first most painful heartbreak. So they've been married, they've been divorced, they've been heartbroken many times. But I think one of the things that happens as well in later life is that you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Kind of sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
And I heard a thing recently that the divorce rate now is highest in your 60s.
So that's interesting, because I wonder whether we're sort of now moving into a time, because we've come out of a time perhaps where you just put up with it. You were married and you put up with it.
As we're educated more, we tolerate less.
We tolerate less, and it's more socially acceptable, isn't it? So that is now coming through. Like, people are going, no. And also we're living longer.
And what is cooler? What is cooler, you tell me, than meeting someone in their 70s who says, oh yeah, they were miserable, so I left and I'm living my best life now. It's so fun.
Fantastic.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And you kind of secretly think, I'd rather be that than the sitting at home in my beige clothes
Absolutely.
person. Right?
But I'm really ashamed to say that it's not beige. You're colourblind. It's not beige.
Thank you.
I'm ashamed to say, when I moved, I furnished my house with second-hand furniture, and I loved it. And I met lots of really interesting people picking up, because people get rid of furniture during house moves and life changes.
Of course.
And one of the people I met was an older lady. She was in her 80s.
Okay.
And I picked up a really nice kind of wardrobe, and it was black, and it came out of her partner's dressing room. She said, oh yeah, no, I've got rid of him.
Was he in the wardrobe?
And I was like, right. She said, no, we fall all the time and I could do better.
Yeah.
I was like, and why am I like that? She's a woman. She's just, her age
Yeah.
is her age. And she doesn't feel any different. You don't feel mentally any different, do you think?
No, I think you feel better. I think you feel more liberated and you know yourself better.
Yeah.
And you know your value, you know what you're about. And I think your insecurity does drop a little bit as you get older anyway, because you have no choice. As you go through life, all this stuff that I tell you to do, all this kind of, meeting yourself, building your self-worth, building your value, all of that is a choice until you get to the point where actually, do you know what? You live with yourself. You're here for your whole life.
Yeah.
You kind of might as well.
Might as well. That's
you might
great,
as well,
yeah.
you might as well know yourself, and you might as well recognize your value, because how the hell else are you going to live happily? And people in their 80s.
Yeah. Might as well live your life. I also think, and this is an observation, I'm not quite there yet.
80?
Yeah, not quite.
Okay.
I'm hurtling towards it faster than everyone else, it feels. But I do feel like you kind of come to a point. I look at my younger relatives, right, nieces and nephews. They are very serious.
Yeah.
Very as they should be. They're doing all the good stuff out in the world at the moment. But I feel like I've come out of that and I'm just free to be silly and do what I like.
Yeah.
Right? Do all the stupid stuff. I've got stupid stuff on my walls that I like and in my home that I like. And it's beautiful.
I had a conversation with someone the other day and they said, oh, what are you doing on this day and that day? And my life at the minute is busy with the dad hug stuff. But I sort of had to describe my kind of philosophy of living. And I was saying, well, I don't do anything now that I won't enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not 20 anymore. I've designed my life to do the stuff that I enjoy, and that's how I'm peaceful and happy.
Yeah.
And that's such an alien concept to someone young, because your whole youth or your early sort of 20s and 30s is like, well, I should be trying to get this or own this or buy this or have this.
Yeah.
But once that kind of goes away a bit, and I did all that, I did all the stupid things, but actually, do you know what? It's a lovely liberating thing to just go, well, I'll just do stuff I like, actually, thanks.
And sometimes, in my situation, that's just sitting and listening to nothing.
Is it?
Laying about and just thinking of good things.
Yeah.
Like my favourite ice cream, that sort of thing.
Oh,
just
really?
absolutely nothing.
What's your favourite ice cream?
I've not finished on that rumination yet. And it depends on the day of the week.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. A really good vanilla, actually. But anyway, what I'm saying is our choices are much, I think, broader, actually, not narrower as we get older.
I tell you what are stronger when you're older are boundaries.
Yes.
You find me an 80-year-old who doesn't have boundaries. 80-year-old people know exactly what the hell they'll tolerate and what they won't.
Yeah.
And a lot of Alison's letter, actually, is her accepting Mike's boundary, right? It's her saying, well, yeah, I get it. I understand. Like, he's gone through this awful thing.
Yeah.
I understand. If you were 30 in that situation and that person's made that choice, it's harder to accept.
Yeah.
But, with experience
and understanding that all of her peers will have these firm boundaries. That won't be an alien concept to her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, Harry, I know we've touched on this, but Alison's final question was, should she call him? Is there any change in your opinion on this, given her circumstances and their age? Because normally you'd say let him go. Is there any change?
I think I'm going to stick with let him go. I think it's such you have to be. It requires so much strength, but you have to let the people go who choose to go. I imagine that it wasn't a quick decision, this, for Mike. He's been through a lot. I would imagine he ruminated over this for a while. It was courageous of him to make the decision, however painful that might be. And, he might loop round. He might come back.
This is what I'm thinking.
But, yeah, I think let him go. I think let him make the decision.
Yeah.
And for goodness sake, go back and dance
Please dance. You're still a queen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are still a queen.
Yeah. So, Emma, that was a lot, wasn't it? I told you.
You did.
A deeply emotional story.
I feel proud, actually, because I honestly could have...
You held it together.
I did. And
silently.
Silently. So you know that I was struggling because I was quiet, and I could see you as well.
That's true.
And if you'd have gone, that would have been it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was hard. It's hard. But real. It's real.
And life is light and shade. And so, with that in mind, we're going to question of the week.
Right.
And question of the week this week
Yes.
is, what is something, maybe a behaviour or a way that you lived that you have now forgiven yourself for, that you've had to forgive yourself for?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, in many ways, it
Yes.
relates to this story.
Oh,
Actually,
is it your dancing? Oh,
there's nothing to forgive, Harry.
it's unforgivable.
That is one of my many strengths.
Okay.
Now, I forgive myself for doing what I had the strength to do in the moment.
Oh,
Okay. When I look back,
yeah.
and when you've lost somebody very close to you, whether that is, they've passed away, or, they are living with Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
for example, there is an awful lot of guilt and regret that you carry as a close relative, as an example.
There's always something else you
There's
could have done.
always something. Or the time you said, no, I've got to do something else, I'm busy. And I've forgiven myself because I've realised that in those moments, I made the decision that was relative and relevant at that time.
Yeah. You can only do what you can do in the moment, right?
Yep.
Do you know what I forgive myself for?
I defy you to find anything that you berate yourself about, but go ahead.
Oh, there's lots. There's plenty.
Go on then.
I reckon that my biggest one would probably be going back into toxic relationships.
Yeah.
Again and again and again, saying, "Oh, come on, then hit me again. Go on, hit me again. Come on,
another go."
There's still bits left. Take it.
Yes.
That stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I did all of that. I forgive myself for doing it, but I'm pretty pleased that I did it, because every lapse another learn, right?
Yeah.
And
You're full of knowledge now.
Here we are, full of something.
Yes. I love this question, Harry. So I think if you at home would answer it as well.
Yeah.
What have you forgiven what behaviour have you? I want to know the bad behaviours mainly.
Yeah. Tell us the really, really,
really bad ones. Tell us those and how you've forgiven yourself, because there will be 5 other people that go, "Oh yeah, that was me too."
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
do that. Please do let us know. I hesitate to ask, Harry.
Yes.
Because this is my homework.
You've
section.
never hesitated to ask anything in your life.
I have. Okay. I am.
Okay.
It's homework. I'm calling it homework.
You've loved every bit of the
I have
homework.
loved it, actually.
And this homework is free to you.
It is, yeah.
But we're going to combine 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right.
Multitask.
Double work. It's like detention.
Oh.
So you're going to do 2 combined.
Right.
And the reason you're going to do 2 combined is because this is the kind of the Harry sweet spot. This is the thing out of all of the tools that I've ever tried to regulate my nervous system to feel more centered. This is the pair of tools I've used together that's done the most thing. And it is the EMDR, bilateral music, which I am obsessed with anyway.
Brilliant. It's beautiful.
Combined with a breathwork practice, so that you are following a breathwork process, going through a square breathing process. And we'll put the details in the podcast notes, but also whilst you're still tuned into this EMDR stuff, because it amplifies the effectiveness of whether it's meditation or breathwork. So that's what you're going to be doing.
Great. And joking
2 together.
aside, amazing. Joking aside, this will sit with me, this story. So I will use that.
Yeah.
To.
You can cry. You can cry during your activity.
I'm glad you said that, because I do feel it. I often, when I start the things that you've given me, I feel it.
A lot of people cry with the bilateral music because it's so originally what EMDR is or was to release stuck thoughts, right? And that means that you're having to connect with very traumatic things. So even on just listening to the music level, it really does bring a lot of things to the surface. So a lot of people cry immediately as soon as they put it on, but
felt it right.
it's a good thing.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's healing tool of the week.
Healing tool of the week.
Tool of the week.
And healing tool of the week is a very simple one this time.
Go on.
It's environment change, isn't it? So it's just, a lot of people feel the worst. If you think back to when you felt the most heartbroken, and this is a really practical tip that an old therapist of mine told me years ago. If you're lying in bed and you're warm and you're safe and you are crying and upset, get up. Go and be crying and upset in the kitchen. If you are wearing socks and your feet are warm, take your socks off. Do little things that change the physical sensation of your body or your physical location, and you will begin to remind your brain that you're still here and alive and you're not actually wounded. This is an emotional injury.
Okay.
So the short version of this is just changing what you can see, walking into another room. That simple. It really is. So go and cry in the lounge. It's that simple. Get out of bed, go and cry in the lounge. Go and cry in the kitchen because the fridge is there. That's where the snacks are, and that's good. So it is though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's better to cry into the Doritos than,
But it's interesting because that does work, because you sort of feel like, oh, you're having to focus on carrying on the crying, and then you feel a bit weird and you stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you told me that one day.
Yeah, absolutely true. You've got to, you're a mum, right? So you've gone through that period, and especially because of the emotional stuff you've gone through that period where you've had no choice but to mother somebody, to look after someone, to keep them alive while you weren't feeling brilliant. Yeah. It's the same thing, change your environment. That's it, tool of the week.
Fantastic.
And we're going to leave it there for this week, but we'll be back on Tuesday as ever with a little bit of commentary about your comments and opinions and input, and hopefully some of your stories as well. We'd love to hear from you. And you can leave your story at podcast@dadhugsforyoursoul.com, or you can go to the website, dadhugsforyoursoul.com/podcast, and you can tell us what you thought of today's story. What you think Alison should do. Do you think our advice is absolute nonsense and she should do something else? Do you think Mike did the right thing? Do you think Emma cried enough?
Yeah, do because we do really, honestly, genuinely, we love those phone calls, don't we? They are really great.
It's really interesting to hear different people's perspectives, especially if they're wildly different.
I know. Yeah. We do try and predict. We haven't got it right yet.
No.
So yeah, get in touch with us. It's great, and obviously also on YouTube you can do that.
Yes, and you can leave a comment on the socials as well. Don't feel that you can't just post under videos on TikTok, on Facebook, on
anywhere.
Instagram.
Yeah, that's the one. Well done.
Instagram.
Skywrite it. Send us a pigeon. We don't care. We will read them.
Absolutely. And remember, if you're wondering where your ex is and what they're up to, they are exactly where you left them, and they're doing exactly what they were doing. Big hug.